Hi there Virgo, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your February 2026 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Virgo Earth signs where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. But what I find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Virgo signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you get notified when the next videos are up. So Virgo, let's jump in. So I always like to tune into the energies before I start pulling cards, Virgo. I always like to just see what comes through. I'm feeling like there is a situation in the past that there's a little bit of struggle around understanding and putting things into context. You know, something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. And I do also feel some energies of betrayal here. And it's not going to resonate for all of you, but I do feel like a third party energy here. Now, third party can be anybody. Like, it can be a romantic thing. It can be a family member, you know, but some kind of third party energy where there's this sense for me of someone else being chosen over you, and a real kind of struggle around understanding why that has happened. Because whatever the situation, you know, whether it's work or love, like particularly in love, I feel like this is a person that you were offering something real. You were offering love. And I feel like there is this struggle to understand, you know, why they have not embraced that with you, why they have, you know, chosen another connection to explore. Because this may not have been happening, you know, while you were with them, but it might be that they moved on, you know, to this other person very, very quickly. Because I see the person that you're dealing with, you know, with somebody else, exploring a different connection. And I do feel like you really genuinely were offering love and gave your heart to this person. And it's this sense of someone else being chosen over you. And I say sense of because sometimes when things don't work out the way that we thought they would or the way that we wanted them to, I do believe that there is always, you know, a higher purpose to that. There's a reason why that has happened. And sometimes when it's someone that, you know, is so difficult to let go of, maybe it's to get more into the energy of that perhaps the universe moved that person out of the way so that someone even more amazing could come into your life. And I do feel it is about, as much as you can, getting into the energy of just kind of trusting what's unfolding here. But I do feel like it's been very, very challenging. Like, this could be in the workplace. It could be a job or a promotion that was maybe given to somebody else. It may have happened very unexpectedly, something that you thought was a sure thing. And at the last minute, I'm seeing that, you know, suddenly that went to somebody else. And I do feel like it's important with these things, you know, this is not a reflection of your worth and your value. I feel in this case, it's about trusting that there is a different path for you. So with your overall energies, we have the Page of Swords. This often comes in when we are, you know, still gathering information. We're getting all the facts of a situation. I definitely feel for you that there has been some uncomfortable truths, particularly in love and relationships, some uncomfortable truths that I feel like your intuition was telling you, but you didn't really want to look at it. Because sometimes it's hard to face the truth, isn't it? Especially when it's someone, you know, where we see that potential, we've really poured our heart into that person. And a lot of times we do tend to love other people in the way that we want to be loved. And sometimes, you know, we let things slide because we don't really want to see, we don't really want to look at the truth of a situation sometimes. So Page of Swords energy often is referred to as the spy of the tarot. It's usually someone who's kind of gathering information, you know, they might be looking on socials, you know, getting all the facts, getting all the information before, you know, making any kind of final decisions. And that's you. I feel like that's you and what I'm talking about. And you know, this struggle around really kind of getting things into context and understanding. And you might be in the process of, I feel, kind of, you know, getting to the bottom of things and getting to the truth of things. What lies in your recent past? The Magician. A card of potential, possibility, of manifesting. And, you know, whatever the situation here, it's important to remember that you have everything that you need in order to create and manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. So nothing is lacking. And that's the thing that I was talking about. I could read that a couple of different ways. You know, for those of you that this relates to career, you know, sometimes when something falls through, we can automatically go into, it's me, I wasn't good enough, and all of those things. And with the Magician there, you know, you're just being asked to perhaps see things a little bit differently, because the space that I'm seeing you in right now, Virgo, it is one of possibility. You don't look entirely comfortable in it just yet. I feel like there's still that understanding that's needed around what didn't work out. And a little bit of a feeling of a void or feeling a little bit lost. But actually, you know, being lost, if you can actually just get comfortable with that, it puts you in a place of, you know, so much possibility because you're open. You're open to all these different possibilities. And that's where I see you now. It's just not the most comfortable space for you to be in right now, but you are at this point of possibility. Your current energies, the Two of Pentacles. I feel like this is about you working out, you know, what's important to you moving forward. What do you really value? It's often a card of, you know, management. And sometimes it can represent a decision that, you know, you might be juggling. And to make that decision, it is about, you know, working out what's truly important to you and, you know, getting your priorities in the right order. Your feelings towards your situation, the Knight of Swords. I feel like this is the third party energy, someone that has somehow, you know, come into your life, maybe not directly, but in, for you, a very destructive way, because whoever this is, you know, has been a catalyst, I feel, in whatever it is that's broken down for you here. It's So the Knight of Swords is an energy that kind of like rushes in, often doesn't think, you know, before they go rushing in, and it's often a very destructive energy. What lies in the challenge? The Queen of Pentacles. I feel like that's a little message here, Virgo, around treasuring your heart and what you have to give. Because the Queen of Pentacles is all about nurturing yourself and really knowing your worth and your value. And it's a really tough one, especially when there is this sense of, you know, someone else being chosen over you. But it's never just as simple as that. There's so much else that's at play. There's soul lessons, there is divine intervention where, you know, the universe sometimes moves people, places, situations so that you can take a different path. With your hidden influence, we have the Five of Swords. This sense of having to compete with other people is what I'm getting from that. But also an invitation here, Virgo, to really cut ties with anybody, anything which feels toxic or feels unhealthy for you. Cutting ties with the past. Very much an energy of conflict and, you know, somebody wanting to win at all costs, you know, even if that's a very destructive energy. Your advice from the universe, the Empress. Rebirth, new beginning, trusting what's happening, moving forwards. Even if it's tough, you know, even if it has brought you into a place which, you know, there is that kind of slightly lost feeling, a little bit uncomfortable, uncertainty, you know, not knowing what's next. The Empress is all about, you know, looking at who or what you put your energies into moving forwards. It's also the birth of new ideas. It's a card of growth. And so whatever has happened here, you know, there will be growth. You know, whatever has died, there will be a seed, you know, of new growth. Because with every ending, there is always a new beginning. There is always a new door. And it's just about trusting that, isn't it? Like, and that can be tough. But there is an invitation, you know, to really look after your heart, to treasure yourself, treasure what you have to give, and make sure, you know, you are giving that to the right thing or to the right person. Because in terms of love, I feel the person that you have been dealing with just wasn't ready. Like I just get the sense of someone finding it just too challenging, like they just weren't ready to, you know, open up more, go to that next level. And I feel like they have chosen someone who perhaps doesn't challenge them to grow in the way that you did. And they have more work to do. They have more learning to do. They have to perhaps experience a little bit more of what they don't really want to know what they do want and to really learn those soul lessons. But that's not your job. You know, your job is to look after yourself in this. And for those of you that this relates to career, I feel like a big reset moment where, you know, something's broken down. You didn't get that thing that you wanted. And there is an opportunity here to perhaps take a little bit of a different path and do that, you know, very much, you know, stepping up to the plate inside of yourself around what you have to give and really just trusting what's unfolding here. When your outcome, we have the Eight of Wands. This is a card of momentum. It's energy moving. Communication channels are open. And it's a very, very, you know, unobstructed energy. It's all about things moving forward, you know, very, very quickly. So if you're waiting for a message on something or, yeah, some kind of information about something, you know, that's a sign that that's going to come in for you. But I also feel that once you make this shift and just trust that the universe has set you on a different path here, and it will be a better one for you. And once you make that shift, I do feel things are going to move forward very, very quickly for you. And what lies beyond that is the Ace of Wands, a whole new fresh start. That's you reclaiming your power. That's you following your heart, following those energies of inspiration and creativity moving forwards. And when you do that, that's when it all comes in, you know, whether that's love, career, a new project, a life goal of some sort. When you get into that energy, the universe just starts lining things up for you. So Virgo, I'm going to leave that there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, you know, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, Virgo, and I wish you a great month ahead.